how to create emotional and mental space for the year ahead. Perhaps you're exhausted, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind where you wake up already behind, when your chest feels tight before your feet hits the floor. And now everyone's talking about 2026 or Black Fridays or Christmas or goals, resolutions, vision boards, or perhaps you've started to think about it already. But here's what no one's talking about or telling you. If you don't deal with what this year did to you, and you're not starting afresh, you're just dragging a heavier suitcase into the next chapter. So forget planning for a minute. And this video is about something more important: how to actually release 2025 so you can walk into the new year lighter. Here's what I see happening every single December or most years. And people who've been running on empty all year suddenly try to sprint into January. And once they get to January, is new gym membership, new journal, new word for the year, or 3 words for the year. And then by February, they're wondering why they feel exactly the same. Still anxious, still scattered, still disconnected from themselves, because they have never stopped to process what's actually happened. They carried every disappointment, every sleepless night, every moment they abandoned themselves to please someone else and tried to outrun it with productivity. But you can't outrun yourself. And the truth is, you can't manifest a new life while you're still energetically living the old one. Lao Tzu said it perfectly. To be given everything, you must first be able to hold nothing. December isn't for forcing, it's for emptying. And that's what we're going to do together. Let me tell you what emotional clutter actually looks like, because it's not obvious. It's the guilt that whispers, you should be further along by now. It's the resentment we've swallowed towards someone who maybe never apologized, because keeping the peace felt safer than speaking your truth. It's the grief you haven't fully let yourself feel for the relationship that ended, the version of yourself that you had to let go of, the year that didn't go the way you hoped, perhaps. It's the exhaustion you've made normal or gotten used to or accepted, because everyone around you is tired too. So it must just be life, right? But here's what I want you to consider. All of that takes up space. When your emotional world is cluttered, your intuition can't speak. Well, there's no space for it to breathe. Your creativity can't flow. Your nervous system can't rest. And you're trying to download a completely new life onto a hard drive that is already full. And the first step for your best year isn't setting bigger goals. It's stopping long enough to feel what this year actually cost you. All right. So how do we actually do this? How do we create space? Not just conceptually, but in your body, in your mind, emotionally, in your nervous system. I'm going to walk you through our framework, the Feel, Heal, Manifest framework. The first stage, before you can release anything, you have to acknowledge it exists. So I want you to sit down somewhere quiet tonight, no phone, no distractions, just you, and ask yourself, what am I still carrying from this year? If you haven't actually considered that yet. Don't judge what comes up. Don't rush to fix it. Just pay attention, notice, bring awareness to it. Maybe it's anger you weren't allowed to express. Maybe it's sadness that felt too inconvenient. Maybe it's just a deep tiredness that goes beyond your bones. Whatever surfaces, let it. Because emotion is just energy that wants to be in motion. And when you let it move, it doesn't own you anymore. As you heard from me before, talk about Rumi. Rumi wrote, the wound is the place where the light enters you. The feeling you've been avoiding, that's where the freedom lives. The second stage is heal. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about bringing compassion to the places that still ache. This is the part where I ask you to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable, right? Forgive yourself, if that's what's needed, for the goals that you didn't hit, for the boundaries that you didn't hold, for the moments you abandoned yourself because you didn't know any better. And if you can, forgive the people who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because carrying their weight is exhausting and you deserve to put it down. Forgiveness isn't saying what happened was okay. It's saying, I refuse to let this live rent-free in my body anymore, and my mind and my nervous system. Lao Tzu said, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The third stage is manifest. Now and only now can we talk about the future, but not the way that maybe you're used to. I don't want you to ask, what do I want to achieve in 2026? I'd like you to consider, what do I want to feel as I'm stepping into this new year? What do you want your mornings to feel like? Your relationships, your relationship with yourself. Because when your energy is clear, your intuition has room to speak. And it will guide you to better than any goal-setting worksheet that you can find. Wayne Dyer said, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So become the frequency of what you're calling forth first. The results will then follow. And then the following part, a bonus part to it, is to ground. And finally, anchor this, make it physical. Small rituals in December that ground your nervous system. So if you're in a body of work, then use the meditation, use the yoga practice to create the space to ground this into your nervous system, into your body. Instead of scrolling the first thing in the morning, maybe 5 minutes of stillness. Instead of running through your to-dos list before bed and write down one thing that you're really grateful for and maybe one thing that you're releasing. Maybe take some walks without your phone. Let yourself be bored. Let yourself be quiet. Grounded energy is magnetic energy. And that's how you walk into 2026 with calm, clarity, and actual presence. And here's a year-end practice. I'd like to give you something simple that you can do tonight or any night. Sit somewhere quiet. Maybe place your hand on your heart if that feels right. And either say it out aloud or just say it in your heart. I release what no longer serves me, and I make space for what's meant for me. And not just saying the words, but actually feeling the frequency of that, the energy of that move through your body, through your cells. Feel them and let your body soften. Let your shoulders drop. And for one moment of intentional stillness, that one moment of intentional stillness will do more to prepare you for the next year than 100 to-dos lists. Because peace doesn't come from clearing your schedule, it comes from clearing your mind. And an invitation for those of you not in this body of work. If this landed for you, if something in you knows it's time to stop carrying so much into the new year, I've created something special or specifically for this moment. It's called the Free Elevate Inner Work Challenge, a 7-day journey that walks you through exactly what we talked about today. Feel, heal, manifest. Each day, you'll get a practice designed to help you release what's heavy, reset your nervous system, reconnect with a version of yourself that isn't buried under everyone else's expectations, and it'll help you start 2026 from peace instead of pressure. And the link will be somewhere below the description. So come do this work with me and us. My closing thoughts, another quote from Rumi. Rumi wrote, "Don't seek for love. Seek and find all the barriers you've built against it." The same is true for peace, for clarity, for joy. They're already inside of you. You just need to make space to feel them again, to reconnect with this again. So before 2026 arrives, give yourself this gift, the space to breathe again.